tonight. Joining us now is Leigh Richardson. She's the founder and clinical director of the Brain Performance Center. Ms. Richardson, good to have you here. So with conditions where your cognitive function is declining, even deteriorating, you often see people become depressed. They become lonely, which I cannot imagine helps the beginning issue. What's your approach?
Well, the approach is, for those people is to keep them engaged, keep them connected with themselves as well as with their family and friends. And we do a lot of coaching with families around that, because once that depression sets in, you have no motivation. You really don't know what to do. And one of the best things for someone to do when they're depressed is to get engaged, learn something new. Of course, learning a new language sounds like very overwhelming to me, but learning just how to cook a different type of food. If you've never cooked Mediterranean food, learn how to do that. And being engaged with your community, because we get depressed and we isolate, we tend to push away our community, whether that's religion or the gym that you go to. And physical exercise is so good for the brain.
Mm-hmm. Well, and physical exercise, it seems like studies always show us it doesn't only help you in that moment, but it's also a good preventive measure as well, even just like 5 minutes a day walking.
Oh, 5 minutes a day walking can do wonders. The brain needs to move. So anytime that you can put some movement in your life, you're helping to create a healthier brain.
You have a really interesting story, because your son has had a traumatic brain injury. You yourself have been in the ICU twice for brain injuries as well. You're also a counselor. What did you learn from it personally?
Well, what I learned from the brain injuries is it's the little things. It's the little changes in your life that, because of that brain injury, you can't do anymore. And it's very frustrating. It's overwhelming. And your friends and your family may not understand why you can't do that anymore, or why you can't do it as well as that you could before. So just the smallest knock on the head can change the way the brain's wiring and firing. And if you notice that, something happens and you're having difficulty, reach out, get some help, get that looked at, because it's amazing. My first brain injury, I lost my sense of smell. I did neurofeedback and I got my sense of smell back.
Wow, okay. What is the role of denial? Because none of us want to lose any of our faculties. And just the same, you see your parents. It is hard to see your parents age, It's just really hard. And nobody wants it to be happening. How do we overcome the hump of denial?
Well, I think I would replace that word denial with fear.
Okay.
I think when we see our parents start to go down, I'm next. It could happen to me too. So we're afraid of what we don't know. And the aging process, there's so much we know about Alzheimer's, but there's so much we don't know. And I think that fear, once we get into that fight, flight, or freeze stage, then we're unable to help ourselves and to help our family.
Once we get to the point where we can acknowledge something is going on, even if we don't know exactly what it is, what can families do when a loved one has dementia or Alzheimer's, just general decline with aging? Because you feel so helpless. You want to do something. We know things like music can help. What else?
Well, general stress management techniques can help. And those can be as simple as focusing on your breathing, learning how to slow your breath rate down. Because when we get anxious, we start to breathe real fast, and that makes our heart beat faster. And if we can focus on slowing our breath rate down, if we can get our breath rate to dance with our heart rate, that creates a sense of wellness. And doing things with our family, as just talking about, what am I grateful for? I'm so grateful to have time to be here with you today. And staying present in the moment. 80% of us, and this is a fact off of Harvard Health, 80% of us are either lost in the past or we're worried about the future. Stay present in the moment and focus on the things that you can control.
I love that we are so fearful of the future so many times that we lose that moment that we do have together and can still have that connection. That's Leigh Richardson, thank you so much.
Thanks for having me.